Hey, welcome to a special pregame NCAA show and also getting you set for the Creighton-Louisville game. I'm Tim Kruger. I'm hopefully to be joined by my partner Austin Chapman here in a little bit. Welcome for all you people live in the Let It Fly locations. Thanks for coming. We're gonna have a great time today. Great place to watch all the games, including that big Creighton game, obviously coming up at 11:15. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And all you people in the bar, make sure you hit that. Go to YouTube, find Bluejay Banter, hit that subscribe button. And we will be so thankful because it helps us out a ton. We do a ton of product for Creighton, if you're not aware. We also do a post-game show right after the game that you can watch as well on YouTube. So check that out as well. What we're going to do today, we're just going to do a quick rundown of all the games going on today so you know what's coming up beside the Creighton game. And then once the Creighton game, once we're done with that, we'll dig into a little bit of looking ahead to the Creighton game today and what to look for and so forth. This is going to be a quick show because we got to get out of here by before 11 so we can get that CBS broadcast up and ready to go. If you're on YouTube, and obviously you can pull that up in the two Let It Fly locations as well, pull that up. You can go to YouTube and you can hit the chat feature and ask us questions, and we'll answer them throughout the show. Like I said, we've only got about 20, 25 minutes, but we can do that and get all the answers for you. If you've got some questions on brackets, on games coming up, what our thoughts are, we can do that as well. All right, so obviously, what a great place to come and watch the NCAA tournament. We want to thank Croker Wealth Management so much, the Croker Group, for sponsoring this show. Really appreciate their sponsorship, and we'll speak a little bit about them later on. I just right now going to run down the schedule today. First game up, obviously, is Creighton-Louisville. I never like doing the first game because I like having the tournament play out a little bit because, man, if you lose that first game, while everybody else's anticipation of their game, it's kind of a bummer that, when you lose out. But we're not going to lose today. Creighton's going to win. But anyway, Creighton-Louisville at 11:15. And then another kind of game with Creighton ties to it. High Point takes on Purdue. And, of course, longtime assistant here at Creighton and ex-J player, Al Huss, is coaching High Point. First time High Point's ever been in the NCAA tournament, but a lot of people picking them as an upset selection. Al's got a very, very, very good team. So that game, you kind of can watch Creighton game and the High Point game simultaneously. At 12:30, we got Montana versus Wisconsin. I don't know if that's got a lot of interest to a lot of people. Nobody's giving Montana much of a chance. And then obviously, once we get into those 116s, it could be blowout situations, and certainly the first one at 1 o'clock is that way with Houston and SIU Edwardsville taking on each other. And then it's followed right up at 1:50 with another one of those types of games. Alabama State, who won the playing game the other night, takes on Auburn. And, of course, the winner of that game will face the winner of Creighton-Louisville game. Then later on in the afternoon slate, we got a couple of great games. McNeese versus Clemson, a 12-5. A lot of people picking McNeese to win that game. That's a game I would circle and watch. That's going to be a really exciting game. Will Wade, Coach McNeese, is rumored to go back. He was at LSU. He's rumored to go back into the big time at North Carolina State. And then at 3:05, we got VCU BYU. The initials game. That game could go either way. It's a toss-up, but I love the way BYU plays. High pace, play very similar to the way Creighton plays, up and down the court, and I like them in that game. And then at 3:35, an interesting 8-9 game with Georgia, the 9 seed, taking on Gonzaga, the 8 seed. Most people taking Gonzaga pretty heavily here, but I would not discount Georgia. They played very well down the stretch, and obviously another one of those SEC teams. We're going to find out just how strong the SEC was, especially from the mid to bottom part of the league that got in the tournament. Last night we lost a team already in Texas. So then we get into the night games, the early games at 5:50. Wofford takes on Tennessee. I don't expect much of that one. Very intriguing game at 6:10, Arkansas and Kansas. Some people have Arkansas, the 10 seed, beating Kansas a 7. I have a sneaky suspicion Kansas is going to make a little run here. I don't know how far they're going to get, but I think they're going to win a couple games. Upset special alert at 6:25. Yale versus Texas A&M. Yale can really score. They can shoot it. They're a veteran team. They can control the pace against Texas A&M. As we saw when we played Texas A&M, they're basically a football team. Okay, they're not very skilled offensively, but they're big, strong, get a lot of offensive rebounds. And so if Yale can limit the offensive rebounds A&M gets, I think they can score enough. And can they match up with the physicality is the other issue. But I think they're going to be able to score enough, and that's very much an upset special. And then the one most people in the country are talking about upset special is 11 seed Drake versus 6 seed Missouri. I'm not so sure on that one. I think Drake has not seen the type of athletes they're going to see against Missouri. That's going to cause them some real problems. But it'll be interesting to see. Then the late shifts. These are for your diehard fans if you've been watching games all day so that you don't fall asleep. I won't. But 8:25, Utah State, UCLA. 7:10 game again. I think most people taking UCLA. I like the way Cronin had his team playing late. Utah State had a great record, played very well in the Mountain West, but they kind of faded at the end, so I'm not sure which Utah State team we're going to see. Then the local interest game at 8:45, obviously, Omaha taking on St. John's. It'll be interesting to see somebody else play them rather than us, right? But, that's a day at the dentist, right, when you play St. John's. So good luck to the Mavs tonight. Then probably the second most game that people are picking the upset on is UC San Diego versus Michigan. UC San Diego takes the ball away. They don't turn it over. Michigan's kind of prone to turnovers. However, I just have a feeling that Michigan's kind of on a roll after winning the Big Ten title. I kind of like them in this game. And I don't think UC San Diego has anybody to match up with Golden inside. So I think that's going to be real trouble. And then maybe we can all go to bed early because UNC Wilmington's going to take on Texas Tech. And I really like this Texas Tech team and the way they're playing. That's the late nighter at 9:10. So I think that game might get out of hand early. So once that Michigan game's over, hey, we can all go to bed. But that's your slate for today. Again, we'll be back here tomorrow doing another one of these from 10:30 to 11. And, we look forward, if you're going to come back down here tomorrow, hey, come on by a little bit early and check out the pregame, and we'll break down all the games for you, winners, losers. Like I said, I would say in these games today, I would go with, if I was going to pick 3 upsets where a double-digit seed has a chance, I would say it's High Point, McNeese, and Yale would be my 3 that I like today. Hey, as I said, we're sponsored by Croker Group. It's a fiduciary firm which specializes in custom plans for clients, including, but not limited to, custom stock models, option strategies for hedging or covered calls for income, or triple tax exempt bond ladders for tax exposure. They truly have something for everyone, which can help everybody's financial needs. So please reach out to Croker Group today. You'll be glad you did, because we can all use some help in this turbulent financial times to get back on track. So that's Croker Group, and we want to thank them, Wealth Solutions and Insurance Management Company, and we want to thank them for sponsoring the Bluejay Banter pregame show here at Let It Fly Sports Bar. So in about 15 minutes, we'll be flipping over to CBS as the coverage begins. It's been a while since we've been on CBS, and most of these tournaments lately, we've been on either True or TBS. It seems like every game, so interestingly enough. Got some reports here live from Lexington. It's going to seem like Louisville, and the reports I've got is that it could just as well be the Yum Center in Louisville, because it is all red. The reports of tons of Kentucky fans showing up wearing blue and cheering for Creighton, I guess, were a little overblown. It looks like it's it's heavily Louisville fans in the crowd today. And you know what, Mac kind of alluded to this in his press conference yesterday. With the blizzard yesterday, it was hard for a lot of people to get out of town. So that might cut into the Creighton fan base again today, too. But anyway, 11:15, Creighton Louisville take on each other. Couple points. Number one, the big talking point was heavy in both press conferences. Was the Chucky Hepburn story, obviously out of Bellevue West. Creighton recruited him. He went to Wisconsin and now ended up at Louisville. He was Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. So he is a lockdown guard. Now, I get that. He's very good. But I would say this. Creighton just played a guy that maybe is bigger than him and is still a lockdown guy, and that's Kadari Richmond of St. John's. So it should not come as a big surprise to us, to the players. They asked Ashworth about it, too. He kind of took it. It was Ashworth, Kalkbrenner, and Jemiah in the press conference. And Ashworth took it and said, hey, yeah, we play a lot of pickup games with Chucky, and we know he's a really good defender. And then they asked Chucky about it in the Louisville press conference, and he said, hey, yeah, Ashworth is just, goes nonstop, and he does the same thing in a pickup game. He really expend a lot of energy guarding him. They kind of broached the, were you recruited by Creighton? And he kind of backed off on that a little bit, said something to the effect of, I wish, it really would have been nice to play for my hometown team or something like that. I don't remember what exactly he said, but hey, it didn't work out because you remember at the time, we already had Ryan Nemhard, a 5-star coming out of Mount Verde. So it was probably not going to work with the both of them. And hey, he probably saw that. Creighton probably saw that, and so on and so forth. That's how recruiting goes. So that's kind of the Chucky Hepburn story. He's a very good defense. And obviously he's got a lot of skills offensively as well. I just want to circle back to Mount Verde because somebody brought this up the other day over at Bluejay Banter, and you can go to bluejaybanter.com at any time, check it up, sign up. The best message board in town for all Creighton talk and speculation and so forth, especially even after the season we get into the portal and recruiting season. It's great to be over there. We've got tons of information. We're hooked up with the Rivals Network, so we get a lot of information from Rivals. But it's to point out that Hudson Greer, our 5-star that's coming in, he's number 46 in the country, is playing at Mount Verde. So somebody the other day said, well, I'm not sure, we want to live with putting freshmen out there right away. I think Hudson's more than up to the challenge of being out on the floor and playing for the Jays in the get-go next year. But who knows what we're going to have in portal? Who knows who all is coming back this year? So that remains to be seen, and I don't want to jump ahead to next year. We have plenty of time to talk about that later. I think so. Obviously, with Chucky's presence, they actually have their true point guard back today. So that could be an issue for us as well. They have their best shooter back, so they've got some guys who have been red hot from 3 lately. Louisville had a gaudy record in the ACC. I think the big question mark there is, how good is the ACC, right? You had Duke, you had Clemson, you had Louisville, and nobody else. Now, you had a North Carolina team, but they did nothing but lose. They didn't beat Louisville, Clemson, or North Carolina, or Duke the whole season. So they only had one Q1 win all year. Now, last 2 nights ago, they looked like world beaters, obviously, where they thumped a San Diego State team that's frankly not very good this year. So that's the question mark. I think everybody's wondering, how are these ACC teams going to perform when they get out of their league? And so we're going to find out from the get-go today. One last note on the crowd, too. I know a lot of times people are like, oh, this is a home crowd, this is unfair, In my many years of watching these NCAA tournaments, this happens more frequently than you think. And I would say it's probably 50-50. The crowd favorite versus the non-crowd favorite, whether who wins or loses. I don't really, in the NCAA tournament, it doesn't matter as much as you think. So I wouldn't get too caught up in that. I wouldn't use that as an excuse here. It's going to be the better team today. Now back to Creighton. They've got to take care of the ball, obviously. They got to do a better job than they did. I don't think we did a horrible job that last game against St. John's. We didn't have near the turnovers we did. But, again, we gave up too many offensive rebounds. They kind of took us out of our offense. So Ashworth's got to kind of get us into the flow. We need another big game from Jemiah. Thoughts are maybe Chucky will guard Jemiah. I don't know how that'll go, but, there's switches all the time, and Chucky's forte is getting off that ball screen. So it'll be interesting to see how strong our screens are today. I'm sure Mac went over and over and over that with the players, and how they've got to do the roll when Calk goes to the basket. We do have an advantage inside. Their center's not a guy that shoots threes at all, so that's huge for us, right? So Calk can play that drop coverage and kind of guard the lane, which is big. Will we have lob opportunities off that pick and roll? That's the other thing we've got to watch for. He is very athletic, though. They're big inside, so that's something to watch for. But can we generate the offense and run the offense and get it going like we can? I think Mac's teams are really tough when you play them the first time. We've been playing this last month and a half. We played Big East teams, if not the third time, the second time. And the familiarity in the league really, really, really is tough sometimes to really get your footing on offense, and you kind of see that in some of the conference tournaments around the country too. So that'll be another factor. If we can get things going, if we've got some new stuff maybe they haven't seen, that'd be a big key for the Jays today. I think a couple guys, obviously, if Jason Green can perform like he did in the Big East tournament, we'll be just fine. But I'd like to see Trout, when he comes in, get it going from outside. I think he's a big X factor. The other big story is Fedor Zugic. The last I heard was he was 50-50. It was going to be a game-time decision. So that's, I would think, probably lean toward not playing versus playing if it's a game-timer. I'm checking in with my sources in Louisville right now to see if, they've got any new information, if he's out warming up, how he looks. And we'll kind of get some word here in a little bit on Fedor and if he's able to go today. That would be a big help. And, he's not going to be 100%. He's not going to be 100%. Can he give us something, though? Can he give us something? ESPN right now just has a thing where they said Creighton has a 44% chance of moving on. So it's basically 50%, 56% Louisville, 44 Creighton. So most of the country going with Louisville on this one. Somebody chatting in the chat says, any Austin today? No, we just got a chat from him. He is unavoidably detained, but hopefully he'll be here tomorrow. He's going to be here at Let It Fly in a little bit to watch the game. So come on up, get an autograph, get a picture with Austin Chapman, the great point guard at Creighton. My thoughts, I don't, most of the time when I have not a bad feeling, but an uneasy feeling about a game, we win. I would say majority of the time. I got an uneasy feeling about this game, so I'm not going to say we're going to win, but there's so many question marks. How can we run our offense with Chucky disrupting? Will we take advantage of the big advantage we have inside? Will our X factors come forth and play well? Will we limit the turnovers today and get the offensive rebound? Something that's plagued us all year long is that offensive rebounding. So that's something we really, really, really have to shore up. And then again, it's all about making shots, and typically teams don't shoot as well in the NCAA tournament. They're playing in strange arenas and strange rims, and it's a lot different. The basketball is different. So teams typically don't shoot as well from outside in these. Now, after watching those first four games, the four of them, even the 16 versus 16, by the way, I thought it was the most entertaining and highly skilled 16 versus 16 games I've ever seen in the NCAA tournament. Those games were great. They really a lot of high skill. But watching those games, you saw every game went over the total if you're looking at Vegas betting. And so everybody there seemed to score the basketball just fine. How will that convert here to Lexington, Kentucky? I don't know. So we'll have to find out. That's something to watch for, because typically these games are more low scoring. And that's okay with Creighton. But this team is just, I'm edging toward picking, I think Creighton's a 2.5 point underdog. I'm edging toward picking the Jays today just because they have just, every time their back's been against the wall, for the most part, they found a way to come through. UConn game, down an impossible situation to DePaul. They came and won the game. I mean, sometimes things just happen, and like the St. John's games and so forth. But this team has been really resilient. So obviously really helps getting off to a great start, get that crowd quieted down a little bit, and get out and run and push and see the pace. Louisville's not opposed to pushing the basketball. One last thing before we go, update on Fedor. He is warming up with the team. Looks okay. So I would think maybe we're going to see a little bit out of Fedor today, which would be awesome. All right. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Thanks for everybody at both locations to Let It Fly. Let's have an awesome day today. Big crowd filling in here, downtown location already. So we're excited for the Jays. I know the weather kind of threw a wrench in everybody's plans, and is everybody able to get out of their driveway? It's a mess out there, but get downtown. There's plenty of parking. The streets are cleared, so come on down, watch the game. You got time. You got about 15, 20 minutes to get down here before the game starts. So thanks, everybody, at Let It Fly. Make sure and tip all your servers. They're doing a great job, and we'll wait on you, and take care. You got great food. Order some food. It's fantastic here. Thanks to Caleb, our fine producer. We'll be back after the game for the post game right here at Let It Fly, so watch for that. And let's go, Jays.